I feel you. Ready for the game this weekend? Sweet! I cannot wait to see what you're going to throw at us. Yeah, my offer still stands. Whatever you need, I'll print, prime, and paint. I can do that. You need 5 of them? Oh, for this weekend? Yeah, I think I can do that. No problem. See you on Sunday. The mission, which I have chosen to accept. 5 printed, primed, and painted Bearkin warriors ready to go in 3 days. Let's do this. Bienvenidos, and welcome to my channel. This week, I am putting my speed painting skills to the test by getting 5 Bearkin warriors ready for my son's game in just 3 days. I've been practicing for a while now, and it's time to see if it's paid off. First, I went to my standby website for STLs, myminifactory.com, and I looked up some Bearkin files. I picked up a few different models, but settled on the Polar Bear Warriors STL by Print My Minis. I had some trouble scaling them down for my purposes, and made the mistake of scaling the weapon options separately, but for the most part, the prints turned out well. Next, I moved on to zenithal priming, and as I mentioned in the last video, I experimented with the paint I'm using for the priming and had much better results. Using what I had available, I used Administratum Gray by Citadel for the gray prime and Dead White by Vallejo Paint for the white highlight prime. I wanted to have some variety for the fur, so I used Army Painter Sand Golem Speed Paint for 3 of them, Citadel Guilliman Flesh Contrast for 1, and Army Painter Grim Black Speed Paint for the boss. Using Army Painter Hardened Leather Speed Paint, I was able to make the belts and wrist straps stand out from the fur, and I was able to highlight the detail in the belts very nicely. I wanted a stone rather than metal look for the weapons, so I went with Army Painter Runic Gray Speed Paint because it has a more bluish finish that I think worked well. For the weapon handles, I decided to keep the primitive look by using Wildwood Contrast from Citadel. It gave it a dark wood feel that stayed with the theme that I was going for. While I liked the look of just the speed paint contrast, I wanted more depth to the minis, so I dry brushed some highlights into the fur. For the 3 minis done with the Sand Golem, I went with a dry brush of Army Painter Fur Brown, making the highlights darker rather than lighter. On the one that I had used, Guilliman Flesh, I went with Army Painter Hemp Rope, using the lighter color to contrast the dark reddish-brown fur. Finally, for the black mini, I went with Citadel Dawnstone to add the light gray highlights that I love to use on my black fur minis because I think it adds a nice sheen to the fur. Lastly, I used Army Painter Gemstone Metallic Paint for the eyes to give them a feral yet magical accent to the creatures. The total painting process took me between 2 and 3 hours, which is pretty good for me since I probably would have spent that much time on each mini using just regular painting techniques. My son loved how they turned out, and my group was really impressed with the figures and the fight. That's all for this time. I plan to take some time off to spend with my family, but I'll be back with another episode in February. Until then, remember, they ain't gonna paint themselves.